we have some breaking news. President-elect Trump has offered the job of Treasury Secretary to Scott Bessent. That according to two sources with direct knowledge. Bessent runs the investment firm Key Square Group. He has worked with the president-elect on his economic policy and has donated millions to Mr. Trump's campaign. He has no prior government experience. NBC's Aaron Gilchrist is back now. Aaron, we know the president-elect has said that he cares about three things, right? He's talked about lowering costs, implementing tariffs, making the stock market go up, tax cuts as well. Do we have any idea where this new nominee will stand on these positions, and how would he help Trump make these things happen?
Well, we know that he is very much aligned with the thinking of Donald Trump as it relates to economic policy, tax policy, things of that nature. As you noted, he was a key advisor on economic issues for Donald Trump throughout this campaign cycle. You also noted that obviously in his professional life, he's been a hedge fund manager and had donated upwards of $1 million to Trump campaign efforts or Trump-aligned campaign efforts over this last election cycle. He and a couple of other people had been the names at the top of the list, according to sources that our team had spoken to. Scott Bessent, along with, some loud motorcycles going by here, along with a couple of other names, were at the very top of that list of being considered for this position. And so what we know at this point, Tom, is that going forward, if Scott Bessent, in fact, does accept this offer of a job as Secretary of the Treasury, as our sources are indicating Donald Trump is prepared to make with him, he would be involved with setting economic policy. He would be involved potentially with the development of extending the 2017 tax breaks that we saw during the first Trump administration. These are all things that are obviously part and parcel of the job of being Treasury Secretary, in addition to the impact that position has on global financial markets and economies across the world, Tom.
Yeah, and he has a Wall Street background. I did notice, according to the New York Times, Elon Musk had described him as a business-as-usual choice for Treasury. So one would think that Wall Street would applaud this choice.
Yeah, I think that's a fair assumption. This is somebody who, 62 years old, has been a businessman, has been connected to Wall Street for many, many years. And so we'll still wait to see exactly what the reaction is from Wall Street to this choice when it does actually become an official choice for the president-elect. But you're right. There's also the point about Elon Musk taking to his social media platform and saying that he felt as though Bessent was a business-as-usual choice. And so there seems then to be this break between Elon Musk and Donald Trump if this turns out to be the choice that he makes for Treasury. And we'll look to see what, if anything, we hear from Elon Musk and whether this signals anything bigger between he and the president-elect.
Does Trump want business as usual or not? Aaron, thank you very much. Aaron Gilchrist with the president.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.